create this animation. First thing I need to do is bring in a car. So let's crack open the Traffic add-on, spawn a car, Lambo, Nissan GTR. Okay. And so the reason why I've spawned this in is because now I've got a scale. Now I do want to have a 3-lane highway. Obviously you've seen the animation, I haven't, so I don't know what it looks like. So this is what our roadway is going to be looking like. Let's add in a new plane. I'm going to go scale by 4, so we've got 8 meters. And then either side I'm going to add an extra meter. So let's go X1, move that over. GX -1. Don't know why I did that. I'm going to put an edge loop through the middle there. Select the edge, delete vertices. From here, I want kind of like a dome. So let's just go E to extrude Z by 4. It's going to be 4 meters high. So obviously trucks can go in. We will change that up a little bit. And then we want it to come into the middle. Now, if I were to move it straight into the middle, you can see that we can go past that point. Marco, how about you go E to extrude? We can go past that point. Not very helpful. If we come over into modifiers, add modifier, let's go into a mirror modifier. There we go. Let's turn on clipping. And now when I go E to extrude along the X axis, it'll stop right there. Excellent. From here, now I do want it to come around and then kind of like a bit of an oval shape. So I'm going to start off by putting an edge loop through here. And we're just going to guesstimate. Let's go GX. Hold control to snap. I'm fairly happy with that. Let's now try and check these 2 points. Control B. Not exactly what I wanted. So maybe we might lower this section. Let's go GZ. Hold control so it snaps. And let's maybe move this one over. G to the X. Something like that. How's that going to look? If I go Control B to do a bevel and mouse wheel up, we've got our dome, so that's looking pretty good. But I'm going to move this over by 1 more. Control B to do a bevel. Control B to do a bevel. Now this very top section up the top here, which I can't move my mouse, but this section here I want to keep straight. There we go, nice. And then here we'll do a B. Cool. So that's what our tunnel looks like. And on the inside here is where we're going to put our kit and caboodles. From here, let's go. We need to create some sort of barrier piece. Let's go Shift A, add in a cube. Something like that. I'm going to move it over. And this is going to be our kind of like our barrier here. Because obviously, you know, cars going fast, we need barriers. Let's do that. And then we'll do something like so. I'm not too fussed that it is clipping the wall. I'm just going to bring that out. I think that's looking pretty good. From here, what do we want to do? Maybe if I just select these 2 faces, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now I can spawn in a cylinder, rotate X 90 degrees, and then we've got that sitting there. Now, when we're in front view, I can't see my walls. So what I'm going to do now is just select that. Let's go into add modifier. We're going to throw in a solidify modifier, just so now we've got a bit of thickness and we can see what is going on. I do like that. I reckon that it should be almost here-ish. Something like that. I am no barrier defense expert, but if we went Control L to select everything and Y, how would that look? I mean, it's not too bad. I think definitely we'll probably add in some gutters here or something. That might add a little bit of extra. And obviously this is to not damage the walls. We will be putting parts in here for bracing and such. Yeah, let's go with that. Now I'm going to go numpad 7 to go into top view. And then I'm just going to kind of guesstimate pretty close. Because when we go ahead and array all these pieces together, I do want that slight gap in here. With these pieces, I reckon we could probably do something a little bit fancier. Let's go Control L and delete that top one. This one here. rotate X 90 degrees. And what could we do here? I reckon I might just select one of these faces and go delete faces. And what this will allow me to do is something like that. And then we could come in and make some sort of, yeah, like safety breaking points. And then we can go ahead and be a little bit creative. So something like that. And so what I'm thinking is if we go here and here, and then we delete these faces. Let's go ahead and maybe create another triangle. So I'm going to do that. Scale X -1, GX. And then I might just grab that as well. Scale X -1. And then you can see that we've got a bit of a pattern. Kinda. Maybe let's select these two edges, delete those vertices. Select that edge by Alt left click. Let's do an E to extrude, scale X -1. There we go. And then from here, we can go straight into the wall. Not too concerned about that. Delete faces. And then what that's kind of creating is that buffer of if something hits the fan, it can break apart. With these triangles, I'm going to press I to do an inset. And then we'll go delete face. Control L, E to extrude. I mean, this is all micro detail. We're probably not really going to be seeing it, but it's almost kind of good to know that it's there. Let's go G, Y. I'm just going to dump that one there. If I come up into item, we can see where are we along the Y-axis. Let's go -3.5 just to make it whole. Shift D to duplicate, GY all the way to the end. I do want it the same, so back up here, Y. This time I'm going to go 3.5. Nice. And so we can see how that is holding in. Lovely jumblies. From here, we could probably just throw on a bevel modifier. Nice. Just kind of clean that up. Bracing. Lovely. I might make it a little bit smaller. 0.01. 0.001. 0.05. 0.02. Ah! Whoops. Yeah, good enough. I'll buy that for $1. So we have that now. That looks pretty good. I feel though we could do something a little bit better with this. So let's give it some lighting. Let's do an edge loop here, and then Alt left click. So we got both of them. Control B. And what I want to do is I'm going to put an edge loop probably about here-ish. Let's do another edge loop. Right click to put that in the middle. Left click, right click, put it back in the middle. Let's go Alt left click, select them both. Control B to do another bevel. So we have this section. Now I'm going to come over into top view. And I want to grab probably all these. So these here. I know I'm grabbing the top ones as well. That's fine for now. Because what we're going to do from here is I'm going to press C for the selection tool, middle mouse to deselect, middle mouse to deselect, middle mouse. There we go. Marco, why'd you do that? Oh, let me tell you why. So from here, I'm going to go into materials, create 2 new materials. I'm going to assign these parts here to the second material. Let's go new. I'm going to go into light underscore rail. And do we go? We can go with a blue hoosh. Sorry, let's go from principal BDSF into emission. And then we'll add in a bit of a blue. 10. Now I'm going to work in cycles because I like cycles better. GPU. Let's go 32, 128. Did I click assign? I don't know, but I'm going to click assign again. From here, if we go into render settings, what does that look like? That gives us this effect. What I might do as well, because this is going to be a nighttime car, let's select the rigs and I'm going to turn them onto high beam. Set. And we'll do the same for this. Set and set. That's going to look so schmick once we've added all this in. The tunnel here seems a little bit high, so we might go ahead and fix that up now. because we're in this view, I can't really see the edit mesh when I'm in close. So if we come back into modifiers, I can click this button here. And so whilst I'm in edit mode, it's not enabled. I'm going to select this face here. I'm going to press O for proportional editing and go GZ. So now it's going to kind of move in relation to it. With the middle mouse button wheel, I'm just going to expand my selection and we'll just bring it down. So we can see that I've actually grabbed the road a little bit. Control Z, bring that back up, GZ. What we can do is I only want it to affect what is connected. So if I come to the top here and go connected only, now if I go GZ, you can see how I've done that. It's a very low tunnel. Oh well. The next bit, we did mention that we were going to try and fix up the ground a little bit. So maybe we might give it a bit of a gutter. With that selected in edit mode, let's select that button again. I'm going to put an edge loop probably about here-ish. And then I'm actually going to select everything but that. No, let's do it the other way. Let's go Control B to do it ever so slightly bevel. And then I'm going to deselect those two. And if I go GZ, oops, GZ, something like that. Now, big concern there is that this isn't out wide enough. So we'll just bring it back to about here. Maybe we might even grab this and we'll bring it out some more. Nice. Let's have a look with the mirror modifier, see what that's looking like. Cool. I do think we could probably do something a little bit more fancier here rather than just having these. But of course, that's something we can come back to. I mean, we could even put like lights through here. That would look kind of cool. We'll come back to that. So now what I want to do is I want to kind of create a rib that goes along the edge here. So I'm going to go Alt left click and select this edge. I am going to deselect them because I don't want them. Let's go Shift D. So I've got just that edge there. Right click to put that back in place. P to separate by selection. Now with that little edge selected, only go into edit mode, select it. Let's go E to extrude along the Y axis. And we're going to have something like that. From here, let's go into our solidifier because we've already got it on there. And I'm just going to increase the size, but let's go the other way. Cool bananas. From here, I'm going to apply that solidify modifier. Let's grab this face in here. I'm going to turn on that proportional editing again, and we're going to go G. Let's bring that in. So it's just going to sit in something like that. Yes, sick. From here, we could probably do something a little bit more fancier. How might we do that? Maybe we might just put, actually, we'll get rid of this back face there. And also there's probably a face in here. Let's go delete those faces. That way I can now select these back faces and we'll go delete. Nice. Maybe what we might do now is do an edge loop with Control R, Control B. And from here, I'm going to go E to extrude, but I'm going to go Alt S now. Whoops. Alt S. And that's going to kind of scale it out like that. So it's almost as if it's now a proper rib. I'm just going to go right click, shade auto smooth, and we'll do that on there as well. Just to see, what are we looking at? That looks kind of cool. What I do want to do though, is I'm going to select some of these, I reckon. Something like that, and then we'll do that as well. From here, let's press I to do an inset. Which way are we going? Whoops. I to do an inset. And we'll do our two materials again. New material, light underscore side. I don't know. Emission. Maybe this one can be a bit of a yellowy color. And we'll go 15 on this one. Make sure we click assign. How are we looking? Let's check this out in rendered mode. That's cool, not bad. Now, something we can do if we want to actually see what it looks like far off, I'm going to select our main mesh here. Let's go into add modifier and we'll do an array, not along there. X factor, we want the Y factor. There we go. And we'll just make it 10 for now. This one here, we'll do the same. Array, 0 on the X factor, please. 1 on that factor, 10. Let's go into a constant, nope. Let's go into an object offset. Open up the menu, and I'm going to select our tunnel. Let's just increase it manually because object offset's not working. I think that's just the version of Blender I'm in at the moment. There we go. And then we'll do the same for this piece. Array, no, 1, 10, not 107. Good try. You want to break your computer? Sure, Marco. And then from here, let's just kind of, oh my goodness. Holding shift, we can move it slower. And I think we're going to have to type in a number for this one. 1.015. Ah, should be right. So now, if we come in and we have a look at the view, that doesn't look too bad. Once we start adding in more greebly bits, I think it's going to look schmick. Especially kind of like with our dome. If I just create a new material and I'm going to go this main tunnel, I'm thinking something like a gray color. Let's go roughness up. Specularity, we can keep probably the same. Here, we're going to put in some lights. I'll just turn on denoise. Here, we're going to be putting in some lights, some more greebly bits through here. I do like how these ribs are a different color to the background. Nice. So we'll play with that. All right, back into solid mode. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I just kind of, you have to remember that because this animation is going to be moving, we're not going to see the background too much, but I think we're just going to be able to see enough of it. All right. So let's go Shift S, cursor word origin. Now I'm going to make a central light. Tab to into edit mode. Let's go something like this. Scale on the Y. Scale on the Y. GY. Yeah, baby. Something like this. How are we feeling about that? Yeah, sure, no worries. Let's go Shift D. I am going to rotate that on the Y-axis so it makes it look like it is actually being suspended by something. GZ. Something like that. From here, I'm going to make 3 sections with some edge loops. Let's do an I to do an inset. I'm going to press I again so they're each individual windows or lights. Let's do our 2 new materials. Let's go new. This is going to be light underscore roof. Principal emission. Make sure we click assign. I want this to be a lot heavier tinge blue. How's that looking? That looks nice because we've got that nice reflection off the car. So we'll probably grab this, rotate it around as well. I think that'll look good. Let's do that back into solid mode. I'm just going to grab this whole thing. Whoa. Let's steal that. Shift D, hold control. Be about there. That sounds great. Hold control. That's about equal. Cool beans. I reckon I might be lazy with these ribs. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select a couple of these ribs, like so. Come up to the top here, we're going to go into individual origins. And from here, I'm going to press E to extrude. So it's going to extrude the individual origins. I'm going to press scale. Now it's going to scale kind of inwards like that. That's not what I want. I want to go Shift X. Nope. I want to go Shift Y. So it only scales along the Z and the X. And then we're going to have something like that. Is that a little bit too much? I think it might be. Let's grab this piece. I'm going to grab this section in here. Shift D, P, separate by selection. I'm going to grab that edge. GY. And then all I'm going to do is make a small rib. Alt S. Alt S. No. Don't go that way, you clown. Fine. Just going to scale it like so. And just going to kind of guesstimate. There's our small rib. Control L, E to extrude. Now that I've done that, that doesn't look... Whoa. Now that I've done that, that doesn't look too bad. I think there's too much of an array. Let's maybe go 5. And we'll just expand that out. I think that looks kind of cool. Alright, I'm just going to save this for now. And all I'm going to do now is select our things. There we go. I'm going to press space for search. Convert to, convert mesh. And by pressing convert mesh, it applies all the modifiers. Oh, darn it. Control Z, Control Z. I don't want that one. So I'm going to press hide on that one. And I'm going to select everything else. Control J to join. I hate you so much. Convert to mesh first, Marco. Good job. Well done. Thank you. And then from here, I'm going to select all our pieces. With our road surface last. And then I'm going to turn off that solidify modifier because we don't want that. And I'm going to press Control J to join all the objects. What the heck? Oh, you dumb donkey. I had the array modifier on all these pieces. Oh boy. So let's just quickly fix all that up. Let's go B to box select. Control L to select everything that is linked. Delete vertices. And we can see that we've got a bit here of something. Delete vertices. And that should join us up. This piece here should not be here, so let's go delete vertices. And if we have a look now, what does our tunnel look like? Why are we missing these lights here? I reckon need to be way brighter. So let's go 50. That's going to give us that. I reckon that looks pretty cool, especially when the camera's going past. We're really going to see that. The other thing that we don't have is the curvature in the road. So let's just do that. I'm just going to put an edge loop there, and I'm just going to GZ, and we'll bring that up ever so slightly. Something like that. Come on, let's go back into solid mode. Actually, maybe we should do a little bit more. GZ, and I'm not too concerned about the cars snapping. Let's go Control B, add a few edge loops. Nice. And now we've got that nice curve in the road. We need to create the road surface, so we'll do that in a sec. One last thing that we might do is I do want to create some sort of lanes. So let's select the road surface here. Shift D, P, separate by selection. And I'm just going to grab that. And we will make 3 lines. I'm going to grab that and that. Let's make sure we're in individual origins. Scale on the y-axis. Let's move this one over a bit. And these ones over a little bit. Now what we can do is, I think that's obviously going to be the middle of the lane. And then we'll do probably a line here. So we'll grab that, Control B. Whoops, whoa. I just want that one. Something like that. Now I can select both of these, Control I to invert my selection, delete faces. Yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and select these, delete faces. Now obviously we've got a bit of an array happening here, which is fine. I'm not too concerned about that just yet. Actually, let's get rid of the array just to make our life a little bit easier for later. I'm going to add in a solidify modifier, make it 0. And this is just going to be sitting up above the road. We might even 0.005, make it a lot thinner. This here, let's remove all the materials. This is going to be our white lines. I don't want specularity. I want the roughness up. Technically, we could almost illuminate them a little bit. I think that might look okay. But I reckon we create some squares or something, maybe towards the end of them. So I'm just going to go like that. Select them both and just go GG. And we'll bring them to about here-ish. Select that face and that face. Let's go I to do an inset. Now we can't really see what I'm doing, so if we remember, go into the modifiers and select the edit button there. Excellent. All I'm going to do now is a little extrude. Let's scale them in. You have to remember that we've got individual origins. Now I just want to increase my selection. I can go Control Numpad Plus. So we've just got these little bits here. Let's create a new material. New material emission. And we'll call this one light underscore road. What color? I mean, we could go like, do we do like a hot pink? I don't know. What's that going to look like? You don't really see. Oh, you daft clown. I forgot to do it on that side. Let's do it over here. Over here. Select these both. GG. Face. Face. Actually, you know what? With these ones, let's undo that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm actually going to select all these. I'm going to press I to do an inset, and we've got them individually. Let's do an E, scale, Control Numpad Plus, and then this one here, new light underscore side road emission. And I'm going to actually make this one red, I reckon. Fire engine red, 10. Assign, don't forget to assign. Let's go 10 on that one. Shift left click, Control J to join. And now we've got that. We've joined both of the meshes together. I mean, it's not bad. Why does this look like rubbish? I don't know. Probably because we've got mesh. Yeah, it's not far enough up. So let's select these two. GZ. Nope, that is because I got rid of my solidify modifier. So let's undo the joining and come into our modifiers, add solidify modifier. Now we can come back in, join them both. Cool. Something like that. That red is disgusting. I think that is much better. Now the road surface, we haven't even touched that yet. Let's go ahead and grab all this. Now this here will create a new material. This material here is going to be new road surface. Now I've got a magnitude of libraries. Do we go? I would like to be able to show you the material library from the Polygon guys. However, at the present time of recording, there is a bit of an issue having them both open, but that's something they should have resolved for when 1.7 is released. So for now, I am just going to jump over into Extreme PBR Combo. There we go. Let's do this emo bob. Let's go into Asphalt. Do we have a dark asphalt? We might go replace that one. Let's go tab into edit mode, U, cubic projection. I don't think this is the material that I'm after. Mind you, did I press assign? Nah, that is way too shiny for my liking. I need something a little bit more rough. I was hoping for something a little bit more darker. I mean, that's too wet. All right, that's a little bit better. Let's go into UV editing. And I'm going to select that, scale by 2. So we've got something like that. Now we can go back into layout and hopefully it's not as coarse. These lines are a little bit too perfect. Technically, we could probably apply a texture to it, but I'm just going to leave them as is. I mean, it's not too bad. I think once we start animating this, it's going to look a lot better. So let's do a Control-S, which we haven't done for a bit. Let's go back into solid mode. We're going to do one last thing before we jump over into the other thing. Animating, that's the word. Good job, Marco. No worries. From here, I am going to apply the mirror modifier, but I'm going to create a curve. Let's go into a NURBS curve, and let's go tab into edit mode. Let's go rotate 90. I can't because I've got individual origins up the top here. Let's go medium point rotate. Scale X 0, and I go scale Y. From here, I'm just going to expand that puppy out. Let's go E to extrude, and I am just going to create a path, and we might even, at this point, maybe raise it up a smidgen. And then that's going to be what our road is going to look like. So we're pretty far away from the road. The array, I am going to go fit the curve, and it's going to be this curve. So that's the length of our road. However, obviously you can see that it's mangled a little bit. I mean, it's not adhering to a curve. So if we're going to add modifier and we go into a curve object will be this thing. And we can see it all the way over there. Isn't that lovely? Now it's a little bit finicky. I'm going to go into deform along the y-axis. Let's go tab into edit mode, rotate 90. Actually, I should be able to go rotate 90 on the Y, I think. There we go. Okie dokie. That's right. And then from here, we got to select our curve again. Let's now go into edit mode. Make sure we've got everything selected. And we've got this mean tilt. I'm actually going to go remove the D. And I'm going to go plus 90. And that is going to be that. Yeah, I forgot about this tilt thing, how much of a pain it is. So I'm going to go scale Z0. And we'll bring it down. Down, buddy. Down, boy, down. And with that section up here, I actually did have it a bit too high. So I am just going to go GZ and I'm just going to raise it up a smidgen. Alright, so now we've got a giant tunnel, which is pretty cool. Let's go. I'm going to do a quick render and a quick test of this. So let's go into camera. I've added in a camera. Control, Alt, Numpad 0. We'll focus the camera on the position, my viewpoint. Well done, Marco. Good talking. Thank you. And let's just press F12 and see what happens.